Hello, my fellow Steamians, DTubers, and members of the cooperation, and of course all Steamians that are interested in cryptocurrencies. In this video, I will try to answer the question: who manipulates the prices of cryptocurrencies, or who manipulates the price of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies? So, of course, I just want to let you know that I don't claim that I'm right. This is my personal point of view. This is what I think about the cryptocurrency market. And let me tell you again what the question is that I will try to answer based on my personal experience working 12 and a half years or almost 13 years on the financial markets. And I have encountered many times such kind of situations. So the question is, who manipulates the prices of cryptocurrencies, or who manipulates the price of Bitcoin? Because many people now claim that cryptocurrencies are falling because someone is manipulating the prices and etc. And some hidden powers or secret powers are trying to benefit from these falling prices. Okay, it could be, but I don't agree with this. And my point of view and my answer is very simple. No one manipulates the prices of cryptocurrencies, and in particular, I mean the price of Bitcoin. So once again, my answer to the question, who manipulates the price of Bitcoin at the moment and who manipulates the cryptocurrency market, my answer is very short. Simply no one. No one manipulates the price of Bitcoin. And it is also almost impossible to manipulate the price of Bitcoin at the current stage, because Bitcoin is highly liquid cryptocurrency. It is traded on many exchanges. There are thousands of exchanges, thousands of places all over the world, or actually in the internet, that you can trade and buy and sell Bitcoin. So it is almost impossible to manipulate such kind of cryptocurrency in a long run. Yes, probably at some exchanges or at some places they can manipulate the price at this exchange within a certain very short period of time, but in a couple of days you cannot manipulate the price of such a high quality assets or liquid assets such as Bitcoin in a long run. So no one manipulates the price of Bitcoin. This is my point of view. This is my answer to this question, and it is based on my experience working as a financial analyst for the last 12 and a half years. And let me tell you now what I think, how all this work, why it happened, these ups and downs on the cryptocurrency market, and I will try to explain my point of view. Okay, so I will now switch to some charts. Just a second. Okay, so this is my page with Skimit, and a few days ago I wrote a post. This is the post. Actually, that was yesterday, early in the morning when I was still at work. I wrote a post. In which phase of the chart do you think the price of Bitcoin is? And this is my post. This is the chart. This is a chart showing the stages of a financial, or actually a price bubble, how it develops. And I just want to let you know that I have seen such kind of charts, such kind of situations many times for my 12 and a half years working as a financial analyst on the financial markets. So this was what happened to the cryptocurrency market and to the Bitcoin last year. It was just a price bubble. It was a price bubble. I will explain how it works, because I have seen so many bubbles. I have experienced so many bubbles for my last 12 and a half years. For example, the stock market price bubble in 2006 and 7 and 8, and the big crash in 2008. The price of rhodium, the price in 2007 or 8, the price of ruthenium, the price of silver and gold in 2011 and 2012 respectively. The prices of many fiat currencies within the last 5 years. I have many examples, and I have participated in many such kind of bubbles. And just to let you know, I suffered when I started working as a financial analyst. In 2006, I also invested in stocks. And in 2007, started the global financial crisis. At that moment, nobody expected it. And I want to tell you that I suffered a lot. I lost almost all of my savings at this time because I didn't know how these bubbles work. I even didn't know that it was a bubble in 2007. And later in 2008, this is the first book that I ordered. I asked a friend of mine who lives in the United States to order some kind of books about bubbles, about the big crashes. And this was one of the first books that I bought in 2008 about the bubbles. It's called The Great Crash, 1929. So it was one of the biggest, about the biggest depression in the United States. And later I started reading many books and textbooks, books about investments, about such kind of bubbles. And I said that I will become a pundit or expert in this field, so that next time when I encounter such kind of bubbles, I know how to react. Because as I said a few minutes ago, my experience on the financial market started with participating in such kind of bubble where I lost almost most of my savings in 2008 because they were invested in stocks. And I just want to let you know that at that time I said this will be a lesson for me. Next time when a bubble happens, I have to be prepared. And even I started interested in participating in such kind of bubbles. So that's why I'm very familiar with such kind of situations. And this is, in my view, but just to let you know, these bubbles are very difficult to work with, to survive in these situations. But this is a classical chart. So how it works, I will now switch to the chart of Bitcoin, because I will try to explain what happens within the last 2 years, and you will see how I see this situation and why I think that it was a bubble and it is still a bubble, and what I think is going to happen to the price of Bitcoin. And I will of course also answer the question why I think that no one manipulates the price of Bitcoin. It is not a manipulation, it was just a financial bubble. But just to outline it once again, I don't say that Bitcoin is a bubble. I'm a cryptocurrency enthusiast. I believe in the success of cryptocurrencies. I'm sure that one day this is going to be our financial system. So I'm a true believer. So I don't say Bitcoin is a bubble or the cryptocurrency market is a bubble. No, just the price of the asset was a bubble. It is called a price bubble. A price bubble. It is not that the technology is a bubble, the blockchain technology, and it is not going to survive, it's not going to be implemented. No, I don't say this. I'm pretty sure that this is our future. It has a bright future. I'm a true believer, but the price is a bubble. The price that we saw last year formed a bubble. So now I will switch to the terminal, my Bitfinex terminal, to show you the chart of Bitcoin and what happened last year. But just to let you know, once again, here on the site CoinMarketCap, we see that market cap, the capitalization of the cryptocurrency market, is slowly going down. It's slowly going down. And we're in this phase, which I call capitulation. In my previous video, here you can read my post why I think it is capitulation. I recorded also before a video in which I said that I think we're in this capitulation phase. And just to let you know, many people say, oh no, that's a manipulation. Someone is trying to press the prices in order to benefit from this. Some big guys are doing this manipulation. They want to try to scare the people who invested in cryptocurrencies. No, I don't believe in this, because I remember in 2008 when the stock market crashed, and we, all the young financial analysts at that time, who had invested all of our money into the stocks, in different stocks, we also told, because we had stocks at that moment heavily falling, We thought, yes, someone is manipulating the price, they are trying to benefit from this, we have to wait. All of a sudden, some kind of angels, a big investor, I mean, will come and save us. They will not let the prices go down because they are not interested in this. Or even I remember in 2008 when we had the same chart slowly falling down of the stocks markets. We, the young financial analysts, used to gather after work and started to develop some kind of conspiracy theories that the big players are trying to push the prices down to accumulate later at the lower prices. They are doing this on purpose. You will see, we will wait and benefit from it, and even let us also join their plan and invest also a bit later in addition to buy more stocks at lower prices. So we as the big players are going to do to benefit from this. No, it's not like this. It's kind of illusions. And now I see the people that many people think that someone is trying to manipulate the price in order to benefit. I mean, the prices of cryptocurrencies and the price of Bitcoin. I think it is an illusion, and I used to live in such kind of illusion in 2008 and in 2009. This is a very severe or harsh bear market. It is a capitulation after the price bubble bursted, and it is going to be very difficult period. And I would just want to let you know that no one is manipulating, in my mind, the prices. Okay, now let me switch to my Bitfinex trading terminal. Okay, this is my Bitfinex trading terminal. You can see at the moment price of Bitcoin is $3,468 and today is 8th of December. So this is how the price of or actually the price chart of Bitcoin looks like. And we are here in this phase of the capitulation. As I said earlier, this is here the phase of capitulation we're at the moment in my view. So I will try to explain in my view what happened within this period, because I am a financial analyst. I work with media, and also I wrote many posts about the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency market last year, about the scalability issue. Now I will tell you, in my view, what happened. So let's go back to, let's say, 2015 or 2016. So we know that, and you will understand what actually happened. In my view, you will understand what actually happened to the cryptocurrency market and the Bitcoin within the last 2 or 3 years. So this is the previous price bubble that bursted in late 2013 and the beginning of 2014. It was probably the main driver of this burst of the price of Bitcoin, was the so-called empty box story, but it is not the point of the main point of our video, on my video today, so I will skip it. And this was the previous bubble that formed on the chart of Bitcoin in late 2013 and in the beginning of 2014. Later, of course, these problems that the Bitcoin community or the investor faced was solved. So many other many other cryptocurrency exchanges were created. Many other ways to store your Bitcoins were developed. For example, these hardware wallets, such as, let's say, Ledger Wallet, Trezor, KeepKey, and etc. So people or investors in Bitcoins later in 2015 or 16, they already had much more opportunities to keep safe their Bitcoins. So slowly, the price of Bitcoin started rising again, because the infrastructure of let's say, this Bitcoin ecosystem started developing. More and more people started being interested into using bitcoins for cross-border transactions, also started buying bitcoin as a that a store of value, or many people started being interested in cryptocurrencies because they really have some big advantages, and we know this. And slowly the price started growing because of the increased interest into cryptocurrencies, and in particular into Bitcoin. So many people started being interested in Bitcoin in 2015, in 2016, and of course the price started rising. But what happened in a late or in the second half of 2016? So let me tell you what happened to the Bitcoin ecosystem. At that moment, Bitcoin faced the scalability issue. I mean, the ecosystem of Bitcoin faced the scalability issue. You can see here that it was in the second half of 2016 when all of the blocks were started being completely full. So we know that each block of the blockchain of Bitcoin is limited by 1 megabyte. And this is the moment when the Bitcoin in late 2016 faced the scalability issue. Or in the second half of 2016, the Bitcoin faced the scalability issue. It means that even if, and it is still not solved, the scalability issue, it means that even if much more people want to join the Bitcoin ecosystem and they want to use Bitcoin as a mean of payment, they cannot use it as a mean of payment because the block size restrict the number of transactions that the Bitcoin ecosystem can handle. So it means it cannot scale, and this is a technical restriction because the blocks of each the block size of each block of the blockchain is limited to 1 megabyte, and this is what is the biggest problem of the Bitcoin ecosystem. And you can see here another chart showing us that in the second half of 2016, Bitcoin faced this scalability issue. The system, the ecosystem of Bitcoin couldn't handle more than 300,000 or 350,000 transactions per day because of this block size limit. And it turned out that there were many congestions. People used to wait days in order to receive their transactions or to perform their transaction. And this is what really is the biggest anchor for the price of Bitcoin, because Bitcoin cannot compete, for example, with Visa, MasterCard, who handles much more transactions per second. For example, as I know, 2,000 or 3,000 transactions per second can handle Visa, PayPal, even and MasterCard. PayPal, for example, can handle approximately 100 or 200. I will check the statistic and I will include it as a snapshot in the video. Much more transaction. Bitcoin can handle just 3 or 5 or on average 5 or 7 transactions per second. And this is a technical restriction. This is because of the block size, because the blockchain is growing and growing, and it is over 200 gigabytes already. And this is the main problem. And just to let you know that at this moment, when the Bitcoin faced the scalability issue, that the ecosystem cannot handle more transactions. And to be honest, as a financial analyst working with currencies and cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin may become even worthless if it cannot solve this issue. Of course, I'm sure that one day the great, brilliant developers all over the world, they will solve this issue. But keep in mind, if they don't solve this issue, Bitcoin and all these cryptocurrencies that cannot solve their scalability issues, they will become worthless because they cannot serve the people all over the world to make these transactions. They cannot handle these transactions. And this is what stopped last in the second half of 2016, the further rise of the prices. But later, the price started a little bit trying to grow. This was the first half of 2017. You can see here is the 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 time span, or whatever you call it. Okay, so it is the beginning of 2017. The price of Bitcoin started rising, although the ecosystem of Bitcoin faced this scalability issue. And let me tell you why it happened. Because first of all, in late 2016, the Bitcoin community and even Litecoin community and Charlie Lee, the creator of Litecoin, they used to claim that the Lightning Network, a second layer solution, will solve this problem, the scalability issue. And they said that in second half of 2017, probably the Lightning Network will start working and it will solve probably the scalability issue of Bitcoin. And many people in 2017 at the very beginning, they said, okay, let's be optimists. Let's start continue buying Bitcoin because these great guys, the developers, the Bitcoin community, they said that they will solve the issue. There were many proposals, the Lightning Network, SegWit, QHIX, hard fork or update, and people were very optimistic in the first half of 2017 because they said that the developers will solve this issue, the scalability issue, and there were many solutions on the table that were discussed at that moment. Also, there were another part of people who, for example, joined or become proponents of Roger Ver. So I will show you one video that was uploaded with YouTube in late 2016, or it was in December 2016. And this was a video in which Roger Ver started promoting heavily, or initiated later, the hard fork Bitcoin Cash. So it was a Bitcoin scaling debate. So Roger Ver initiated a hard fork called Bitcoin Cash that took place on August the 1st, 2017, and by which hard fork he increased the size of the block of the Bitcoin blockchain by from 1 megabyte to 8 megabytes. So he increased 8 times the size of the block of the blockchain in order to solve this scalability solution or problem, this scalability issue. So this was the solution he offered by creating this Bitcoin Cash hard fork. So many people, I just want to let you know that in the beginning of 2017, they started even buying Bitcoins in order to get the new cryptocurrency Bitcoin Cash for free because of the hard fork. And they said, I remember this time because we, the financial analysts at this time, we also started debating with each other which solution is the best one. Lightning Network, SegWit, QHIX, Bitcoin Cash. What is the right solution in order for the community to solve this scalability issue and to make Bitcoin a massively adopted all over the world cryptocurrencies. And the price also almost reached, I remember this moment, $2,000. And it was not because of a fundamental reasons. It was just based on the optimism that someone of all these great developers will solve the scalability issue. So you understand that, let me show you, the scalability issue Bitcoin faced in the second half of 2016 or in the first half of 2017, there were no any reasons for the price, fundamental reason for the price to grow further, because Bitcoin encountered this scalability issue. Why should the price go further up if there is no fundamental reason? So that's why I'm showing you here in this chart that the scalability issue was faced in the second half of 2016 or in the beginning of 2017. And at that moment, the price of one Bitcoin was 1,000 USD. This is the real price. The technology didn't change. The technology has not changed since this moment. But the price went up to 20,000 based on nothing. To be honest, that was the greatest financial bubble within the last 1 or 2 years. There were no reasons last year in the beginning of 2017 for the price of Bitcoin to go from $1,000 to $3 or $5 or $6 or $7,000 and further. Absolutely no reasons. Bitcoin faced the scalability issue in the second half of 2016 and in the first half of 2017. But the price started growing because of the optimism among the members of the community, of the Bitcoin community, because most of the people thought that yes, the guys will solve the scalability issue, or probably Roger Ver with the Bitcoin Cash will accumulate many followers and they will switch to Bitcoin Cash, and this is the right way to solve the scalability issue by increasing the size of the block. And I remember this period, this period, and this is the moment when the prices started just on this optimism going up. And let me just write now one blue line. And let's say that this is the fundamental value, the real value of Bitcoin, and this line. And this is the price, the actual value of the Bitcoin. Because of the scalability issue, I think the actual value of Bitcoin didn't change. It is the same. So we should write it, we should put it on the chart sideways, because they didn't solve the scalability issue. But now let me show you what happened to the price. Let's say this is the green, the new line, this green line, it is the price. Because of the optimism, that the guys will solve the scalability issue, started this divergence. The green line is the market price, the blue line is the the green line is the market price, the blue line is the fundamental value of Bitcoin. So I need one more chart, one more line. Let me So the price started increasing, as I said, in the beginning of 2017 and diverging from the blue line, from the real price of real value of Bitcoin, because of the optimism on the market. And I just want to let you know that I've been working on the financial markets for the 12.5 years. This is something normal. It is very often when we see these price divergences, because the markets, they try in advance to predict some future events. They try to be ahead of the market. So, I mean, the price is trying to be ahead of the real facts, or that's why the prices sometimes go up and go down, because the market tried to predict some future events. And let me tell you what happened further. The price, of course, went up and went up and up, and this divergence from the real value of Bitcoin started being massive, because the technology didn't change, the scalability issue was not solved at that time, and just to let you know, it is still not solved. So this is the real value, about $1,000 of Bitcoin. But what happened later? In the second half of 2017 started the so-called mania on the Bitcoin market, or on the cryptocurrency market. So this is a classical example of a financial bubble, when the media starts attracting the attention of the public. Many people who even didn't know what Bitcoin is, what the scalability issue is, they started in 2017 in the second, or in the summer, or in the second half, just seeing this massive increase of the price of Bitcoin, started joining this market, because they said, come on, let me not miss this opportunity. Everyone is making money on Bitcoins, on cryptocurrencies. I remember that at this moment in the internet, on the TVs, in media, everywhere you can could find on a daily basis news that some guy became a millionaire because he bought at some time 2 or 5 or 6 years ago some bitcoins or other cryptocurrencies, and now he became rich. And this kind of news, they attracted many newcomers to the cryptocurrency market, and this is something very common to all markets when such kind of financial bubbles start forming. Enthusiasm, media attention, enthusiasm, more and more people come. Then start the greed, when everyone wants to become rich in a short time. So this is a classical examples of mania, the so-called mania. One of the most famous examples of such kind of manias, when there is so big price divergence, when the price just goes up and up without any reason, is the so-called tulip mania that happened in Holland or in Netherlands in 17th century. Actually, this is a legend, and I'm not pretty sure that it has ever such kind of manias have ever happened in Holland, but everybody knows about this tulip mania, when, for example, for one tulip, people used to, it is according to these legends, I don't believe in this story, but anyway, it is a very famous example, when for one flower, a kind of this, people in some parts of Holland used to give their houses to get just one of these flowers. So this was some kind of mania. Actually, to get some bulbs of this flower, people used to give their horses or houses and all of their money they have. So this was one of the most important famous manias. And just to let you know that at this moment, great rich people or came to the so-called Isaac Newton. Probably you know that he is a very prominent or noble person or scientist, and people called him and asked him, "Hey man, you're a great mathematician and physician. Could you tell us when the prices of these bulbs, of this flower, of this, you see, like these bulbs, they will stop rising? Don't you think that this is some kind of craze, that people exchange their houses for this kind of bulbs, or they exchange their horses for this kind of bulbs?" And this is exactly what this greed, delusion, this is the end of this, almost close to the end of this bubble. And there is, let me show you what Isaac Newton told to these people. He said, "I can calculate the movement of the stars, but not the madness of the man." So I like this phrase. I have been using it many times because, as I said earlier, since 2006, I started analyzing and researching and studying all these bubbles, because I faced such kind of bubbles, as I said earlier, in 2006, and I suffered a lot. And just to let you know, at this moment, since this moment, I have been showing this phrase many times. I can calculate the movement of the stars, but not the madness of the man. And why I'm showing you this phrase? Because at this moment, when the price of Bitcoin started increasing last year, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, I work in this field, and many people who stay in touch with me, many people used to ask me at this moment and about this financial bubble that is forming, and they used to ask me if it is the right time to open short positions. So it means to bet against the market, against the further price rise, because people used to say, what is going on? There is no any fundamental reason for the price of Bitcoin. The guys couldn't solve the scalability issue. Why the price is going further up? What is wrong? It should stop rising, the price should go down. This is what most of the people who I talk with used to claim, and they used to say, do you think crypto spy it is the right time to open short positions to make bets against the market? I said to them at this moment, I wrote many posts about this, and I warned them that I don't recommend to open positions against the market, against the further price rise, because we're in this phase enthusiasm. Later we'll get into the greed, and I just always used to show them this phrase that Isaac Newton said 3 or 4 centuries ago. I can calculate the movement of the stars, but not the madness of the man. So that's why at this moment I also used to say to them, yes, we can calculate many difficult and complicated things, but we cannot calculate to which price, to which level the madness of the newcomers will bring the price within this financial price bubble. And I used to say to them that we're in this phase where mass media is attracting the attention of many newcomers, and most of the people who came to the market at this moment and were coming constantly, they even didn't know what Bitcoin is, what cryptocurrencies is, what the scalability issue is, what is the problem of the Bitcoin. They even didn't pay attention to this. And I remember that I talked with many people at this moment. I used to explain to them, you know, guys, that in late 2016 Bitcoin phase, the scalability issue, it is still not solved. With the communities has many proposals on the table, but it is not clear which of them will be implemented and will it work. And the people even didn't pay attention to this. I remember they even didn't pay attention to my point of view, explaining them the scalability issue. And they used to say, come on, the price of Bitcoin depends on some kind of ETFs, on the regulations, or some kind of other things that, in my point of view, have a significant impact on the price of Bitcoin. ETFs, big investors, small investors, and all these talks are not that important at the moment. The most important thing within the last 2 years has been the scalability issue. So these guys who even didn't know what they are buying, they pushed the price much higher, and this was one of the greatest bubbles for the last 2 years, because the price of Bitcoin in late December 2017 went to almost 20,000, and it diverged so heavily from its fundamental price. Because once again, I just want to let you know that this is the fundamental price of Bitcoin. This is the point where Bitcoin, this is the price at the point when Bitcoin faced the scalability issue in the late 2016, in the late 2016 and in the beginning of 2017, and this scalability issue is still not solved. And that's why I think now the bubble bursted. We are already in this phase of the capitulation. We're slowly now going into the same direction, to the point from which everything started. So this is the point that we should reach one day, if all else being equal, within this price drop. So we have to go probably to the level of $1,000 per Bitcoin, because this is the point when the Bitcoin faced the scalability issue, and this scalability issue is still not solved. So this is the real price of Bitcoin. So within this downtrend, within this phase of capitulation, yes, in the books the chart look like this, but it doesn't mean that there will be no rebounds. So there will be many rebounds within this downtrend, within this capitulation. Why I'm trying to explain this? First of all, as I said, I've been working on the financial markets for more than 12 years, almost 13 years. I have participated in many kind of bubbles. I did many mistakes in such kind of bubbles. To be honest, as I said, in 2006, I invested almost all my savings into stocks. and the bubble bursted in 2007 and in 2008, and I lost all of my savings. I remember very good this moment. It was very unpleasant moment. That's why I started reading books and researching and studying and analyzing all these bubbles in order to be prepared for the next kind of bubbles, as I said earlier. So what I want to tell you, yes, the price now is going down, but there will be many rebounds. What it means, sometimes we will see some kind of rebounds. I call them, like this place in the chart, bull traps. What it means, many people at the moment, they're waiting to invest heavily into cryptocurrencies. Yes, this is a good idea. I'm also, as I said, a cryptocurrency optimist. I'm a true believer, but I will try to omit these bull traps. What it means, sometimes we will see this price rebounds, and many people will start buying cryptos, and they can last for a month or 2 or 3. I don't know. It is very difficult to calculate the time span, how much it will last, but it will last. And many people will start heavily buying into crypto because they will claim, okay, I get it, man. Very nice price. Let me now pour into a lot of money into the cryptocurrency market, and they will really lose. They will lose many people. Many people will lose their monies investing within these bull traps. This will be just slight rebounds, and in a couple of weeks, days, months, I don't know, we will see this zigzag movement, downward movement. We're in the capitulation phase. It is a very difficult phase. Be careful. And I just want to let you know that when I lost my money in during the stock market crash in 2007 and 8, in 2009, in 2011, 10, 11, I also invested within these bull traps because I was so bullish at that moment. I was sure that one day this will end and I will make a lot of money. But it didn't happen on these markets at that moment, because it turned out that I'm just pouring my money into these stocks within these bull traps. When the prices are slowly going up and you start thinking that this is the beginning of the next bull run, no, it is not the beginning of the next bull run. So at the moment I'm preparing for this. And just to let you know, be very careful. Of course, this is my point of view. I don't claim that I'm right, but be very careful. So now the price is going to these levels. I will wait. If the price of Bitcoins drops below $2,000, within the range between $2,000 for one digital coin of Bitcoin and $1,000, I will try to buy some Bitcoins, because this is the real price. I hope the Bitcoin community will solve the scalability issue one day. And that's why I believe in this cryptocurrencies a lot. I'm really a true believer, and I want to support this revolution, blockchain revolution. So definitely I will get into Bitcoins, and I will buy some other currencies as well to hedge my position, because keep in mind that some other cryptocurrency all of a sudden may solve this scalability issue and may outperform Bitcoin, and then the price of Bitcoin can even drop further down below the level of 1,000. But at the moment, I think this probability is quite low. I will keep an eye on the cryptocurrency market, but I still think that the first crypto that will solve the scalability issue will be one of those Bitcoins. I say Bitcoins because it's not clear who is the Bitcoin or Bitcoin Cash, or even this fork Bitcoin Satoshi Vision. We will see. So that's why one of these Bitcoins will solve the scalability issue. It may be even Litecoin. So this is the cryptos. I will keep an eye on them, and probably when the price of the cryptocurrencies reach their real levels, fundamental levels, I will try to make this portfolio of these cryptocurrencies, and I will also buy some other things, but I will update you a little bit later. But that's it. We're in this phase of the capitulation. Yesterday, another fellow Stemian asked me and called me on the phone, and we talked about this phase of despair and how it looks like. And he said, he just asked me to explain him how this phase or stage of despair we're in this market cycle looks like. You know, let me tell you, according to my experience working 12 and a half years on the cryptocurrency, on the financial markets, how it looks like. It is very difficult period for the investors because, yes, here in the chart it looks like that it is very short, it happens very fast, and we return to the mean, to the normal, and then slowly start growing again. Yes, it looks like this here in this chart because it is a simplified chart for the people studying finance to understand the main phases, but actually it will be a very prolonged one. Let me show you, for example, rhodium price, how do you call it? Hold on. This is the price of the rhodium, for example, monthly average. You can see that when the price, the bubble of the price bursted in the late 80s, it recovered in, let's say, 20 or 30 years. So they had to wait it a lot. So this phase of the so-called despair here can be quite long. Be very careful. Of course, I don't think that at the cryptocurrency market we will have to wait 30 or 40 years. I'm a really big optimist. I think these guys will solve it in the next 3 or 5 or 6 years. The Bitcoin community will be able to solve the scalability issue. But just to let you know now, let's return to this chart. And based on my experience, this period can be very prolonged. And what happened within this period? Many companies, for example, for example, if we take the stock market, within this period, not only the prices of the stocks, for example, went to cents, to a couple of cents, but many of those companies, they even disappeared within the next months or years. And just to let you know, I have, for example, stocks of companies that disappeared within this market crash in 2008, and of course they didn't disappear when the prices of their stocks dropped to close to $1 or less, or actually €1 or 50 euro cents or less. They disappeared in the next 2 or 3 years because within these low prices, at these low prices, their companies couldn't be profitable. These companies couldn't be profitable, and because this period of despair was quite long, they disappeared. So it didn't happen immediately. Why I'm explaining you this stuff? Because now, when the cryptocurrency market cap is going down, many of these tokens, ICO tokens or cryptocurrencies, which you see here that are more than, let's say, I don't know how many, you can see that there are so many cryptocurrencies. If you go to the CoinCon market cap, there are a couple of thousands. So you can see that there are 2,068 cryptocurrencies. Many of them will disappear. This capitulation, this bear market will destroy their ecosystem, and these cryptocurrencies, they will disappear. So be very careful, because within this phase of despair, slowly it will be like a chain reaction. Many cryptocurrencies will disappear, or their price will go close to zero, and their ecosystem will never recover. And just to let you know, I also like Ethereum, Ether. But I'm not prepared to buy into Ether when the price hit the bottom of Bitcoin, because Ether depends on many tokens that are built on Ethereum, such as ERC20 or all other ecosystems that are built on Ethereum. Many of those ecosystems may not survive the bear market, and in the next 1 or 2 or 3 years they will disappear, and they will keep the price of Ether very low for a certain time. Even if Ether can survive the bear market, because it depends on many other ecosystems like tokens, ERC20 tokens that are built on Ether. They will be as I consider them as an anchors for the price of Ethereum. Bitcoin didn't have this problem. Bitcoin didn't have Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Litecoin, and so on. They didn't have these problems. So that's why the first crypto that I'm going to buy is this real cryptocurrencies, not these platforms for smart contracts. So just to let you know, guys, once again, this phase of the despair will be very difficult. I still have shares of companies from 2006, companies that disappeared, and I just have these shares, and these companies, they, let's say, don't exist, and their prices are really very cheap, were really very cheap when I started accumulating more of those. And just to let you know, because this is the last thing I want to say today, many people I see, even in Steemit or on Steem blockchain, they post some kind of videos or upload videos and write posts that, okay, I'm waiting for the price of some kind of crypto to fall down and I will buy thousands of this crypto because before it was $5 or it was $10 or it was $20 or it was $100. Now it is 20 times less. So this is the right moment. Be very careful what are you doing, what cryptos or tokens you are buying. And just to let you know, imagine that you go to a food store and you see a very good apples, but they're expensive. For example, $5 or €5 a kilo. And you say, okay, I will come tomorrow to this grocery, to this food store. If the price of these beautiful apples is 20 or 30% cheaper, so if they make such kind of discount, I will buy these apples. Even now it's expensive, for example, €5 a kilogram. If it's €3 a kilogram, I will buy 2 kilograms because I like these apples, I'm waiting for them. But all of a sudden you go in 1 week and you see price not just €3, 20 cents, 20 cents. Yes, it is funny, but you see that these apples, they are already rotten ones with worms inside. And you see that all the apples now are very cheap because they are rotten ones. And then I ask you a question. Yes, the same apples, those are the same apples that are 20 or 30 times less than the price they were at the beginning. Will you buy these rotten apples? I'm sure, guys, that keeping in mind this example, you will even not eat them for free. If the people or the staff working in this food store tell you, guy, hey man, just take it for free, all this apple, and eat them, you will not even take it for free, all these rotten apples with worms inside. So why am I giving you this example? Because yes, some of the cryptos were, let's say, very expensive at some time for you. Now the price of these cryptos is very low and very cheap. But are you sure that this is not already this rotten apple that you will even not buy at any price and you will even not get for free? It is not, for example, if you take a company, it is a company that is going to bankrupt. It has already its model is not profitable. It is not viable. This company is going to bankrupt. It costs nothing. And this is the same for the cryptocurrencies. Are you sure that this ecosystem is completely has no potential, has no it's going just to be completely destroyed? Are you sure that the crypto you are buying has some kind of bright future, or it is going to be completely destroyed? Isn't it the rotten apple? I think you understand what I mean, because guys, just to let you know, after the financial crisis of 2007 or 8, when I bought some stocks, I remember, for example, in 2010, me and a colleague of mine, we started buying very cheap, at that moment cheap stocks of companies producing solar panels or like this generating solar energy, and all these beautiful companies that were called the so-called renewable energy companies, because we believe that the future is very bright for the companies producing and trying to develop this renewable energy stuff. Yes, this is the future, but these companies exactly, they disappeared. And I remember I bought a couple of thousand of some kind of stocks at prices, for example, 9 euro cents, 8 euro cents, 7 euro cents, because we used to check their charts and to see that they were priced at levels 3 euros, 5 euros, 10 euros, 20 euros, and now they are just cents. And I invested, there is one company, I invested 500 euro into this company, and I bought a couple of thousand of shares of this company. And I have also other such kind of shares. And all of a sudden, in the next 2 or 3 years, they just disappeared. This company were closed, everything was closed, and it turned out that the price of this, at the end of the day, I had just €0. So sometimes it is better to buy something at a higher price, but you know that you are buying something that has a real value, that has a viable economic, so it is a viable business, rather than buying into something cheap for cents that is going to bankrupt and that is already almost dead. So be very careful not to buy these rotten apples. So cheap prices may turn out to be not very cheap. That's it for today. This is my point of view. I will update you. I will stay on Steemit for some reasons. Just to be honest, I know that we're in a bear market. I've been claiming that we're in a bear market. I risk all my investment into Steemit just because I like this community. I like the people in this community in Steem blockchain, and I will be very happy if somehow we survive our community within when we get into this despair stage. I cross my fingers that Steem survives this period. It may be quite long, but I just like the people with whom I communicate over here. So that's why I will never power down. Even I bought Steem within the bear market just because to somehow try to support this ecosystem. That's why I've been powering up within the last 2 or 3 months. But to be honest, it was not the main investment of mine. I'm waiting for the real cryptocurrencies to buy. I'm waiting to buy some cryptocurrencies when they go back to their normal, such as Bitcoin. Probably I will buy Bitcoin Cash. We will see if I will buy Bitcoin Satoshi Vision. I still don't understand very well this crypto, what the idea of Bitcoin Satoshi Vision is. I will buy probably a Litecoins to make some kind of hedge when the prices go to their normals. I'm considering IOTA because it may turn out that this crypto may solve the scalability issue using another technology, Stangle, not a blockchain, just to hedge my Bitcoin position. Of course, I think Bitcoin will be still the king, but I want to hedge my Bitcoin position that I will get to buy at, I will try to buy at these prices within $1,000 per digital coin. And I keep an eye on some other digital assets. I will not name them at the moment. Probably within the next few months, when we get into this despair phase, I will slowly try to pick some good cryptos. I will try to make nice analysis at that moment, who is in trouble, who is not in trouble. But once again, I cross my fingers that Steem survive. I don't know what prices of Steem we will see, but I wish, because I like you guys, I like the community, I will be happy if we all survive. So that's it for today. See you in my next video. If you have some question, Don't hesitate to write in the comments. That was me at CryptoSpa. Thank you for watching.